The X-Wing is the most iconic starfighter to grace the screen since 1977. These single-pilot dogfighters were the backbone of the Rebel Alliance, New Republic, and Resistance forces. This ship was much more expensive than its Imperial counterpart, the TIE Fighter. However, it boasted extra firepower, shields, and a hyperdrive. With the right pilot, like your Skywalkers, your Antilles, and your Damarins, this was a force to be reckoned with. The X-Wing was developed by the Incom Corporation and is the descendant of the Clone Wars era fighter Z-95 Headhunter. The goal of Incom was to build a fighter that was well adapted to many situations and could not easily be beat by opposing enemies. If not for the political whims of the Empire, this dominant starfighter could have been the backbone of the Imperial Navy. The X-Wing gets its name from its forward profile of the ship. When the strike foils are engaged, also known as S-foils, the ship appears as an X. The X-Wing has a long evolution and runs through many different models and improvements. These include the T-65B, T-65C-A2, T-70, and T-85 models. The first model seen in the Star Wars universe is the T-65B model. This model costs about 150,000 Imperial credits compared to the 60,000 credits of the Imperial TIE Fighter. Right away, it is clear why the Empire went with the TIE/LN line of fighters. Not only did the Empire have greater financial strength than the Rebellion, but they chose a fighter that is less than half the price of the X-Wing. The Galactic Civil War was fought on many fronts. It was a war fought in space, on the ground, in the back alleys, in the Senate chambers, and in the banks. This means that the X-Wing pilot would need to get 3 kills, too short of becoming an ace, before making up the financial difference between the Rebellion and the Empire. Considering the Rebel Alliance only launched 30 fighters, 22 of them being X-Wings in the Battle of Yavin, they were always fighting from behind. A single ISD can carry up to 72 TIE models. The scarcity of the Rebel Navy meant that every time these forces were allocated to a new battlefront, a significant portion of the Rebel Navy would be committed. We see this play out in the bickering of Rebel Command when they receive word for support from the forces on Scarif. To commit that many ships, fighters, and landing parties was a huge price to pay for the Rebellion. Meanwhile, the Empire doesn't flinch at destroying the entire Scarif installation to achieve their goals. With these fundamental differences in waging war, the Rebellion needed the X-Wings to carry much of the burden against the Empire. A single model T-65B was equipped with a standard armament of 4 TM and Bach laser cannons, 2 proton torpedo launchers, and a total payload of 6 proton torpedoes. The lasers could be used in different fire configurations of single fire, rotating fire, and quad burst. The laser cannons, in combination with the proton torpedoes, meant that the X-Wing could punch high above its weight class. In addition to the weapons, the X-Wing boasted deflector shields. This meant that not only does the X-Wing cost about 3 times as much as the Imperial TIE, this means it could withstand a few sustained shots before falling victim to incoming Imperial laser fighter. Incoming Imperial laser fire. Fighter to fighter, the Imperial TIE stands no chance against the X-Wing. The T-65B was maneuverable as well as possessed the ability to jump to hyperspace. This meant that this model could be used in hit-and-run engagements. When faced with a numerically superior foe, the rules started to change. Instead, the underpowered Rebel Alliance could switch to guerrilla tactics. This means that a strike force of X-Wings can jump in system, cause damage to space or land-based targets, and then see their way out. We see this happen in the incursion to Iadu. Andor and his team are on the planet and things start to go south very quickly. We see an X-Wing unit drop from hyperspace. Make planetfall, and cause massive damage to the research installation before leaving again, flying escort for the U-Wing and Andor's team. An iconic feature is the Astromech support hub. These fighters are equipped with the ability to house an Astromech unit. This unit, usually an R2 or R4 series, is able to assist with in-flight calculations, precise systems management, and provide tactical data to the pilot. With the advantage in shields, weapons, and tactical capabilities, the X-Wing T-65B was more than a match for the Imperial TIE Fighter.